Is there anything else that a student athlete, let's say that they're putting their portfolio together? And I think one thing that you mentioned, I know you'll probably talk about this, but so you've got your highlights, boom, it's headed towards Coach Rivas. What are some other extremely important things, say top 3 things that you are, say in a portfolio for a kid, right? You got a highlight film. What are some other things that
great question. I'm actually going to sum it all up into you alluded to it earlier. Coaches have short attention spans too, right? Not only do we have short attention spans, but we also, our time is very valuable because there's just so many kids to evaluate, right? So if a student athlete can make it one-stop shopping for us to where we don't have to keep calling back and asking for more information and more information. So the one thing that I encourage young men to do now is say, hey, put it all in one email. Put your huddle film, your highlight film. Put the link. Make sure that your huddle film isn't private. Oh, the worst thing in the world is to get a kid that you're interested in, type it on in, plug it on in the link, and then it's set to private, and you got to call the coach or call the kid and try to get it, so you can actually watch the film. But that's one. But also including the test scores, the transcripts, any pertinent information, your NCAA ID number, the links to your social media handles, all of that in one-stop shopping. So there's not just 3. I would just say throwing all of that information into one email, one link. Let's say if you have a digital resume, let's call it, that you're sending on out, all of that stuff together. So that way the coaches have all those questions answered, because they're going to ask you for all that stuff anyway. Hey, can I see your transcript? They watch the film, they like the film. The first thing they're going to do is, can I see the transcripts? They might even ask for the depending on which college you're speaking to, they might actually ask for the transcripts before they even watch the film.
Yeah.
And then contact information of your coaches and or any other important people that are involved in your life that a college coach might want to ask questions to and inquire more about.
That's a real good. That last one is such an important point, because when I would recruit kids, I would typically use Twitter, and I'll tell you why. Because every kid has a Twitter and every coach has a Twitter. I'm telling, and so if your profile, if I have to message you and wait and I want it now. Like I want to when I'm looking up guys, I want your information and I want to contact you now. I don't want to message you on Twitter, because that can take forever. And you know how it is, well, they're busy, whatever. Give me your number. Give me something that's going to go directly to either you or it's going to go to a parent. Because if I'm a coach and I want you bad enough, I'm calling mom and dad while they're at work to bug them to get me, get me information. I don't mean to be
and every recruiter is a little different. Some coaches like to make phone calls. Some of them like to text first. Some of them, they'll slide into the DMs. They'll call the high school. Some coaches like to call the high school coach first, get a little background on the kid. So there's every recruiter is a little bit different on how they like to go about their process. I think in totality, by the time they're getting you onto the team and you make the team, whether it be through scholarship or walk-on, you're on the roster, I think they end up encompassing all of those things. They hit all those points eventually, but everybody's process is just a little bit different, right? But the thing is, you want it to be one-stop shopping. So no matter what coach is calling you from or trying to get a hold of you from any institution, that all of that pertinent information is there. So that way, if you send 500 emails to 500 different institutions at all the different levels, Division I, Division II, Division III, that all those coaches have access to all that information about you to contact you and do background on you.
I think